Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 132 people in 12 different countries, and it will be fabulous. Please let me know if you can see and hear me. So the theme, well, this is the July twin set, healing 1 of 2. And today's date is Thursday, the 23rd of July, 2023. I'm waiting for my confirmations. Hope I'm not just talking to my laptop. Is this thing on? Oh, there we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. And the theme that we've been working this month is liberate yourself and inform yourself in your life. So it has to do with, freedom, like spiritually, like releasing controls and dumped energy from other people that suppress you in a whole bunch of different ways, maybe distort your sense of yourself and what you need to do in life, and inform yourself, to help you have helpful realizations and, clarity. So you know where you're headed, you know what you need to do, even just on a daily basis or weekly or monthly basis. Maybe it's not that you have to have a, perfect life purpose statement or something. But anyway, so that's the gist of what we've been working this month, in the triplet set that we already did earlier this month, and now in this twin set, which is a set of 2 healings. So today and then in 3 days on Sunday is the second healing. So I have a super, I prepared a lot. So I'm going to describe what we're doing. Let me do that. So I just wanted to make 2 little notes regarding the 5 essentials. We always do those in the healing because they are essential. Grounding or repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and back of head stuff. And of course, we will do them again today. But 2 things I wanted to mention about it. In the aura repair, I'm going to especially unblock receiving zones because I feel like that'll help give people more smooth, sort of able to surf their growth more easily during and after the healing in the next following days. So it's every part of your aura is technically a receiving zone, where you can bring in new positive change energy of yours. And if it's too blocked, it can make you feel tired, even if you're trying to bring in new energy and you're blocked. And especially if you're trying to bring it in this way, it has this sort of top heavy weird thing where you feel like you need a nap, just because you're too blocked there and you're trying to bring in stuff through the blocks and it's too hard. So anyway, that's just as part of the aura repair. I'll also unblock receiving zones in all your auras. And then the creative rings, as part of the creative rings, which are up here, 3 gold creative rings that help generate gold light and send it down to your major chakras along your spine. I've been sort of exploring how they are also, the creative rings not only are useful because they generate lots of gold light, which is really good for unblocking and healing, but it's also good for, the creative rings help with boundaries with invasive beings. So the stronger they are, the less inhibited they are. It does help you have boundaries, better, stronger boundaries. So I'm going to, just to the extent that's healthy and gentle during the 5 essentials in the creative rings part, I'm going to melt away some inner surface, some devices in the creative rings, specifically in the inner surface. So like say if this is one of the creative rings, you know, along the inner surface. So like you can have, yeah, well, yeah, I was going to show with 3 of them, but that's the point, you know, it's just that inner surface. There can be like sort of a, almost like, I don't know, it looks like a rubber gasket or something, you know, in there, and it just sort of stuck there, and there can be some damage that then is not repaired properly because that device is there, and it just makes it hard for you to be present there and therefore safe in that really critical area right above your 7th. So, so just to the extent that's healthy and gentle, I will melt inner surface devices and do extra repair once those devices are gone. And that can cause a kind of a cool evacuation of invasive beings from people's space. So you could play with that on your own too, especially if you're, you know, more advanced and you heal yourself often and stuff. It could be fun. But just, you know, make sure you just do it to the extent that's healthy and gentle, and make sure you're grounded before, and yada yada. And then you can recycle any invasive beings that, you know, flew the coop. Ask your angels to recycle them so they're not lurkers. But anyway, so that's the difference with the 5 essentials today. Just those 2 things with the aura unblocking receiving zones when I do aura repair, and melting some inner surface devices in the creative rings. And that's pretty much it. Also, as for with grounding, you know, the first 5 essential is grounding. We'll clear STEBs and recycle lurkers, just because I think even just, you know, at the start of the healing, people have triggered energy blocks from life, you know, so that helps kind of clear the slate, get people more ready for the healing. So I guess those are the 3 modifications from sort of the standard 5 essentials that I'm going to do today. And why. So then we'll do just that standard 3-step wrap up where you clear STEBs and recycle lurkers and do a quick blue soak for your mind. And then we will I'm gonna unblock I'll write it out. Okay, so there's it's easy, but I just want to explain it. But it's going to be an unblocking all like together all at once. So creative rings, all your major chakras, which I abbreviate often as 7 and 7, 7 physical body chakras and 7 astral body chakras, you know, the major chakras along both astral and physical body spine. So creative rings, 7 and 7, and all your joints. So I'll be unblocking those at the same time because it's nice, it's gentle, it's cool. It helps you be more present. So all joints, especially including the sacroilliac joints. I'm going to get my little model for that. Sorry, I don't have it with me. Hold on one sec. Well, yeah, I will. Hold on. So this is a model of a pelvis, pelvic bones. It's debatable whether it is life size or smaller than life size. But anyway, then your so here's your sacrum. Here would be your spine, all the vertebrae, right, going up here this way. These are the the hip bones, ilium bones, right? And here's where the leg goes in the ball joint there, the upper leg, right? So but anyway, so this is your sacrum right here, all these bones that fuse together when you're a certain age. I forget what age, like early 20s or something, or maybe, yeah, I forget. But anyway, they fuse together. So this is your sacrum, and then there's a joint between your ilium bones and your sacrum called your sacroilliac joints. And those are super enjoyable to unblock, in my opinion. It's like, it's really cool. They're just fun, you know, because it's like obviously a very central thing to be present in, and you can have like invasive beings or just blocked energy there. And so it's really nice to, you know, ask your angels to recycle any invasive beings that are in your sacroiliac joints and or connected to your sacroiliac joints, and then to, you know, further unblock with gold light and maybe red earth energy. So that is definitely one of the joints, one pair of joints that I'll be unblocking, but I'll be even unblocking like finger and toe joints and elbows and, you know, shoulder joints and hip joints and knee joints and ankle joints and wrist joints, you know, all the biggies, and all the spinal joints, you know, the disc and facet joints in your spine and stuff. So that is enjoyable. I'm looking forward to doing that. So then, you know, I'm getting kind of hot. Put my hair up, if you don't mind. So then I'm going to be, it's really easy. We'll just do like, you know, blanket exercise or whatever, you know, clearing energy blocks to help you with 5 different things. And one of them will be to love yourself more. So you can love yourself more. So if you wanted to, you could like do a percentage read of, you know, like don't overthink it. Just be like, okay, I think I love myself 60% right now, you know, and then look at the energy blocks that are keeping that number low, you know, lower. And then just, you know, be like, okay, well, angels is a healthy angel to clear all these blocks. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And then you just use so much gold light that you wash everybody out, and then you clear the blocks, right? So then you watch the number jump up, and then you can maybe do it twice, you know, so it goes up even higher. So that's the idea. We will clear energy blocks so that you can love yourself more, love your life more, have more decisiveness and productivity, have more peace of mind, which I found especially enjoyable to do earlier today. That was cool. And more balance between being and doing, which is an interesting sort of a thing. So I'll explain that, the 5th one, just a little bit extra. So the be-do balance, a balance between being and doing. So being, if we had to pick one chakra for that, it would be your 7th chakra. It's just like your state of like, it's just like existing and being, right? And then doing, if we had to pick one chakra for that, that would be your 3rd chakra, right? Below your sternum, right? So right about there. So doing, taking action, right? And so sometimes when we work peace of mind in these healings, or even if we're not explicitly working that, but we do other things, people feel more peace of mind, more calmness, but they may not be more productive, you know? So they're kind of like, well, I feel way better and I feel less anxiety and I feel more content, but I'm still not getting anything done, Janet. So, you know, and then the opposite of that would be, you know, if you have this really like do, and you don't have balance in that way, and you're just like always like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? And sometimes if I get into that mode, it's so hard to stop. Like, you know, it's like, oh, just one more thing. Oh, just one more thing. Oh, just one more thing. Just one more thing. And so if you don't have balance with that, if you do have balance with that, it really helps with stress and presence and wellness, you know, because then you're still able to have your discernment and your, you know, clarity and sort of more evolved things. You're not just a machine accomplishing things, right? So it's good to have both, right? So that should be interesting to unblock, you know, clear blocks in the way of you having a balance between being and doing. So if that makes sense. Okay, so this one is a repeat. We've done it at least once before. We did it earlier this month in the, let's see if I can quickly see when we did it. I know we did it in the 3 of 3 healing, so the most recent one, but we did it also in the 2 of 3 healing. Yeah, I think that's it. Just the 2 of 3 healing and the 3 of 3 healing. But it keeps getting good mentions, you know, from people like in surveys, or like I'll just see that, you know, that did help somebody to realize something that was helpful for them. So, and you know, it's very with the theme that we're supposed to be working this month, which is inform yourself. So having helpful realizations, you know, really, and also actually, which I did bring up last live stream too, but you know, some people don't listen to all of them, obviously, because they're 3 hours long. But so I want to mention it again, that working this, and you know, like that, because what you do is you imagine these colored balls of energy, your energy, that represent helpful realizations, like information of yours that's buried in your subconscious, and but it would be healthy and gentle for you to become conscious of it, but it's not moving into your conscious mind, it's staying in your subconscious mind, even though it would be healthy and gentle to realize right now, right? So then you clear energy blocks so that those balls move into your conscious mind, and then sometimes right then you can read or intuit what it is associated with. And other times you just, you know, like a day later, 3 days later, you realize a different way to do something, or, you know, suddenly you know, change course, or, you know, whatever. And so that's what it is, right? But also what it can help with is psychic, like intuition. When you're reading healing yourself, or you know, you're trying to read somebody else, a lot of wisdom is subconscious, so to be able to access more and more of your own wisdom, maybe that you learned in past lives or whatever, you know, it just helps with that flow of knowledge. So it can make you a better reader and healer of yourself, and better when you're trying to intuit things about other people, because clairvoyance and intuition, it's not like well, anyway, yeah, it just does help. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then for the wrap up, we'll do our standard 3-step wrap up that we've been doing lately. Clear STEBs, recycle lurkers, and do a blue soak for the mind, which I love. Blue earth energy soak for your mind. But then we'll again unblock the aura receiving zones, so that, to help you surf forward in the next days after the healing. And we'll unblock the legs more, explicitly, and the feet and kidney 1 chakras, which are in the sole of the foot. So that's that. That's all. So that's what I have planned for today. I do have one announcement. So I will be sending a survey out to anybody that I normally email, like anybody that got this set, anybody that has a subscription, anybody that gets any of the news emails. I will send a survey because I have been talking about this in the last month or so. I really want to customize my emails to people so that, because I think that maybe not everybody, but I think many of us are kind of barraged by emails and text messages that we didn't ask for and we don't want. And so I don't want to be one of those people, and it's not that hard for me to tailor it to exactly what you want, so I figured out at first when I started talking about this a couple weeks ago, I didn't know exactly the kind of emails that I was going to offer people, but I've been sort of playing around with it and I figured it out. So there are 3 different news emails that are monthly that people could opt into, or they could just say, you know what, please don't send me any more news emails. Because sometimes I'm like that. If I love a company, when I want to buy something again from them, I'm for sure going to go there and buy it. I don't need a monthly email for that. I'll know when I need it, and when I need it, I'll buy it, and it just, although some other companies I like, and I like their products, and I kind of like receiving a monthly email from them, even though I'm not going to buy every month. I don't know, they have a good vibe or something. And, it's a cool thing to glance at it quickly and move on with my day, So, but I want you to feel like you're in control of that stuff, that it's not just foisted upon you, right? So I will send this survey that lists the 3 types of news emails that I send out, that I could send to you. And also yeah, please, none of these, none of the above will definitely be a choice that you can choose, right? And if you want to say, oh, you've been sending it to the wrong email address, can you send it instead to this one? That there'll be space for that on the survey. I gotta make sure that I don't forget that part. But okay, so then the 3 emails that someone could opt into, you can just ask for just one of them a month, one of the 3 specific that will come at a specific time, or 2 out of the 3, or all 3 out of the 3. And I'll explain when they come and why. But each one, in addition to talking about, a group healing set that's about to happen or whatever, there'll be like a little extra in it, like maybe 1 or 2 affirmations that the angels like, that I, just as like in case they're of interest to you, that you could use if you want. Or maybe a video suggestion, something small that I think, maybe you might enjoy. And if, you should just glance at it, maybe it's a nice part of your day, whatever, So, okay, so the 3 different emails, one will be, well, the old one is, on the 15th when sets go up. So like sets go up on my purchase page 2 months ahead of time, right? So like last, 8 days ago, last week, the September sets went up, which always blows my mind. Like, are you kidding? It's September in 2 months. Like, my grip on time is not the best, That always kind of blows my mind. But anyway, so, you'll be able to learn about the theme for the the sets that are coming in 2 months. And, you know, some people do really like to have their purchases kind of squared away and done that within that time, you know, for like September, for example. So for sure, those people, you know, may appreciate that email. Some other people might just appreciate it because maybe they're just curious about what the theme's going to be and they want to know as soon as possible, even though it's for 2 months ahead. So that's the email on the 15th. And I used to have everyone on that one. That was usually the only one that people could get. But I recently took everyone off that one and only put on that one the people that I know plan ahead and tend to at least sometimes buy 2 months in advance. But you could put yourself back on that email list because maybe you're just curious what the theme is, or, you know, maybe you want to see if there's a cool affirmation on that email, you know, or something, you know, whatever, it's your choice, you know. So that'll be a choice. One of the things you could opt into is the email on the 15th. And then the other two are new. They are an email that comes 3 to 5 days before the triplet set that just talks about, you know, the theme for the upcoming 2 sets, you know. And the other one that you could opt into is an email that comes 3 to 5 days before the twin set. Because a lot of people, I think especially now, maybe because consumer confidence is lower in the US or something, or, you know, just for whatever reason, people like more immediate decision making. Like, do I want this set that's starting in, you know, 5 days? Yes, no. You know, they don't want to think 2 months ahead. So that's sort of what those email lists are designed for, is just a little bit of a memory assistance of like, okay, the set's starting in 3 to 5 days. If you want to buy it, this is your reminder, you know. So that's that. So those are the 3 email lists: 3 to 5 days before triplet set on the 15th, or 3 to 5 days before the twin set. And like I said, you could get all 3 or just 1 or 2 or none. Is cool too. So so that's it. And I will be sending that survey to everybody just because I really want to know what works for you. So if you don't mind, please reply back to that one, because otherwise I'll just sort of read it myself, and I would prefer to hear from you, because sometimes, you know, I'm kind of surprised at what people choose. It's not necessarily what I would have read for them. So it's good to know your conscious viewpoint, which I would only know if you fill out the survey. So I promise I won't make it too wordy, and I'll make it pretty. Okay, cool. So that's my announcement. That took way too long to explain. Sorry about that. Okay. So this will be super quick because I only have 2 comments at this point. But if you are watching and you want to say hi, please feel free. Actually, even though I always think it's kind of weird, comments do help the stream. Like YouTube takes it more seriously and shows it to more people if there are more comments and more thumbs up. Oh yeah, could you give this stream a thumbs up, please, if you don't mind? That would really help. Even if you're watching later as a video, that helps. Okay, and that's my thumbs up for you. All right. Cool. So someone says we can see and hear you, and somebody says hi from Chicago, 75 Fahrenheit and dusk. That still so weirds me out that you guys have dark so much sooner than us. But 75 sounds nice. That could be what we are at right now too. Yesterday and the day before were so hot. Well, for us, they were in the 90s for us here, that's sort of like heat wave level for us. Because out here, like, most people don't have air conditioning because it doesn't get that hot usually. But anyway, now we're back to like 70s and low 80s, so, which I prefer. I mean, if I'm not going to have AC and I'm going to have a big garden that I have to take care of, that's how I prefer it. Oh, I got another comment. Yes, I love those mid-month emails with affirmations and short videos, and I love the idea of those 3 emails. I would love them all because I would love to buy sets for other family members, and I do forget. Yeah, so when you get that survey, just let me know. Yeah, you can just check the boxes, and that's that. Then I will arrange it so that you do get those emails. And if you ever change your mind, you know, just let me know. And I can, you know, take you off one of them or add you to one of them or whatever. We can customize it pretty easily. So it's not a problem. That way, at least with one type of email, you're in control of whether or not you get it and when you get it. All righty. I should give Newbie info first. Okay, so basic Newbie info. My name is Janet Wright. Good to meet you. And this is my email address and my website. And I'm an energy healer and reader and teacher of both. And I like to I teach in these live streams for free, and then I also, you know, release excerpt videos periodically. So that's all free instruction, and I really like doing that. But I also really like healing people, and so these are group healings where I heal a whole bunch of people at the exact same time, and those people purchased this as a set of healings on my website in advance. So I had time to prepare my energy to heal those specific people. So people that are watching live, sometimes those are the people that did purchase the set of healings. Sometimes it's just other people that want to watch live for whatever reason. Maybe they couldn't afford to purchase, or they just, you know, want to watch and heal themselves while they watch, which is fine. So if you buy the set and I'm healing you, then you could also heal yourself at the same time if you want. Or you can do anything at all while I'm healing you. You can, you know, sleep or drive a car or hang out with your kids or whatever you have to do. Clean your house. Some people clean their house during the healings. But anyway, so that's the gist of it. And we'll be using gold light that you generate with your hand and your fingertip chakras. You set those chakras to a metallic gold color, like this glitter, and you just do that with your intention. So none of this you have to be super psychic to do. An adventurous newbie could do just fine following along and doing what I say I'm doing, just doing it on themselves, you know, as a self-healer. And the basic concept is we're using a copy out in front of you to heal yourself. So if you want to heal, you know, so you imagine a copy of your body, and your astral body is you as a spirit, the part of you that can be fully present in your body. And so it looks like a body, looks like your body, but it's just your energy, right? So when you go to sleep, your astral body goes to the astral, but then you come back when you wake up. So anyway, so you imagine your physical body and your astral body as inside of it as you are, and then all your auras and your connection to the core of the earth, which is your groundings. And you just heal with the gold light. And so as you're healing the copy, you're healing yourself. So that's the idea. Okay. And it's all levels teaching. So I want to just remind newbies that there will not be an exam at the end or anything. Like, don't worry, you know, you're not slow or stupid or something if half of it goes over your head, because I'm also teaching people that have, you know, followed my videos for like years. And maybe they're very advanced self-healers. Maybe they're even professional healers of other people. So, as well as newbies who I love, you know. So you get what you get, you learn what you learn, you know, and just be at your own pace, go at your own level. It's fine. And if you do have questions about anything I said, you could post it in the chat, and then after the healing, I look through the chat comments and I answer them, you know, as time allows, you know. But usually there's a, you know, I'll read them and answer them, people's comments. Okay. So that's a long version of the newbie info. Sorry to my veterans who are sick of hearing it. So now we'll be quiet. I'll be quiet for a few minutes before I get going. And during this time, I'll just finish my prep and say hi on a spirit level to the people that I'm about to heal. Okay, thanks for waiting. So let's do grounding. So your groundings are your connection to the, oops, sorry about that. Your groundings are your connection to the core of the earth. So you have two, one for your physical body energy system and one for your astral body energy system. So you can just recreate those with your intention, get rid of the old ones if you want and make new ones. Make them both the same color, both red or both orange or both yellow, so that you're trying to get your body and your spirit on the same page, so to speak. And then just make a copy out in front of you of your everything, all your auras, your physical body and your astral body, and your two groundings. And you set your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color with your intention. And that way they're generating gold light. And just wash through your groundings with the gold light so that you can melt the energy blocks. And you can, like you're sweeping a floor, just sweep together, use the gold light in your hands to sweep together all the energy blocks in your grounding. And go ahead and saturate the blocks with so much gold light until they melt. And do it again. Sweep the blocks in your grounding together. You can say angels if there are any invasive beings cording these blocks. Can you recycle them? And then you just melt cords from people going into these blocks and melt the blocks. So you want a very fast downward flow throughout your grounding, which helps a lot with stress relief, helps you to really handle the challenges in your life in a really level-headed way and not feel overwhelmed. The better your grounding is, the better your stress management is. I listen to these cop videos. Only this one cop. Because he has really good energy, he's really present, and he is kind of cute. His channel is Sergeant Curtis, and I think I'm remembering that right. And anyway, he talks about command presence, and a good police officer, not only are they physically fit, but they have what he calls, what I guess is called command presence, where and energy-wise, command presence, part of that is to be really grounded and really present. So, so good grounding helps give you command presence. So anyway, go ahead and work your command presence by unblocking your grounding with gold light. And indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings all the way down to the core of the earth. So you run gold light through the surface and you melt away the outer surface and you melt away any connections going into your grounding. Because if someone's connecting to your grounding, it just messes with their grounding and your grounding, and you're both kind of you have less command presence that way. We don't want that. All right, so just melt those cords. It's better for them if their grounding goes straight down and not into yours, and same with you. So just check the outer surface and melt away the connections. Even if you have a very, very young child, like a newborn child, it's so much better if their grounding just goes straight down. They don't need to plug into your adult drama. The first chakra cord can help. A first chakra cord, if you're a parent of an infant or someone like 11 or 12 or younger years old, then a first chakra cord is nice. But other than that, nothing else would help them. No other cords. All right, so that's good enough for grounding for now. So then clearing triggered blocks. I could call them STEBs. STEBs stands for Stubborn Triggered Energy Blocks. It's an acronym, STEBs. But we just started the healing. So you might have some blocks that are just, they're not stubborn. They're just, you got triggered an hour ago and they're still triggered. Or you got triggered last night and you maybe didn't clear your energy that much. And so today, and so they're still triggered. So anyway, make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it copies of any energy blocks that you have that are, triggered in your space. Anything that's bothering you on any level, just pile it up on your blanket and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So that way your angels will pick through them and sort them out. And if there's something that's too much to clear right now, they'll get rid of it for you. Take it off the blanket. All right. So then everything that's still there is healthy and gentle to clear right now. And you can say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then you do the rest. Just bring up red earth energy if you want to soak the blocks in red earth energy. That can help start draining everybody's energy out of them. You can use gold light and just melt your cords and cords from other people going into these blocks. And then go ahead and saturate the blocks with so much gold light that they melt away fully. Or once you've gotten everybody out, you could blow them up if you want. And let's do that again. Big gold blanket. Triggered energy blocks, pile them up. Angels, is this all healthy and gentle to clear? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? Courting this junk. Deep breath. And then you do the rest. Gold light, get everybody out, and melt them away. If there are any blocks left over that aren't clearing, just wrap them up in gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? And lurkers, it's my term for invasive beings that you've knocked out of your space because you're awesome and you've cleared so much energy and you're more present now. But these invasive beings are kind of hanging out waiting for another opportunity later to bother you. So they're just, you know, maybe within 1 foot to like 10 feet away from the edge of your auras somewhere. So you just say, angels, can you recycle all my lurkers? All right, good job, good job, good job. I'm gonna start my timer. I should have started that already. There we go. Okay, so that's good for grounding. Good job, good job. Grounding, etc. So this aura repair is the second of the 5 essentials, repairing all your auras. But then also, as part of the unblocking, I'll make sure to unblock the auras very, very thoroughly so that, well, thoroughly enough so that you can bring in your positive change energy from whichever direction you're trying to do that with. So go ahead and have a copy out in front of you of all your auras. You have 17 auras, but if that blows your mind, you don't have to think about it. But you do have 17 auras: astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is a type of, it's a strong boundaries energy that you have as a spirit. So anyway, just comb through, have a copy of all your auras out in front of you. It just looks like one big bubble, but it's really 17 bubbles in the same place. And check for rips. The rips can look like sort of narrow gashes, or they can look like big valleys. And they can be anywhere, you know, up top, by your tummy, by your lower back, by your knee. You know, sometimes it definitely relates to some physical issues that you may have, you know, say with your neck or your knee or whatever. Other times it's just, you know, kind of messing with your mood, these rips. But so you could do local aura repair like that. And if I'm healing myself, I tend to enjoy that a little bit more. But a newbie friendly way, if you don't trust your ability to find them all and heal them all manually with gold light like that, is to just heal them all at once using composite copy technique. So you imagine an image of a rip and you say with your intention, okay, this rip represents all my rips in all my auras. And then you heal that. And as you heal the copy, this composite copy, you're healing all the rips, repairing them all, right? So you have your composite copy rip and you want to clean it out first. So we could use sticky gold wax, just fill it up with sticky gold light that sticks to everything that's not you. And then you lift out the junk in a big lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. What is that junk? That junk is hard objects, invasive people, and invasive beings. Hard objects that maybe somebody threw at you, which caused the rip, is one way the rip could be caused in the first place. And then, so once it's all cleaned out, you can, again, use gold light and just get it as deep as you can. So that jumpstarts the repair process. And maybe you missed some hard objects, so you can just grab those and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Grab the hard objects. Angels, here you go. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? And that probably repaired most of them, but we'll do the process one more time for any leftover rips. So you imagine a rip and an image of a rip, and you say, well, this rip represents any leftover rips that I still have in any of my auras, right? And then the same process. Sticky gold wax, fill it up, have the wax stick to whatever's not you, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk, including hard objects. Angels, here you go. And get the gold light as deep as you can. I'm going to text my husband to take our doggy out. Okey-doke. So get the gold light as deep as you can. And you can also, sometimes I like just, you know, if I'm healing myself, I like just sort of crushing the hard objects in place. I like taking them out and handing them to the angels too, or you can use so much gold light that they melt. Whatever's your preference, or all of the above. And again, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? And then you can just say, angels, one more time. Angels, one more time. So they keep recycling invasive beings in the way. And maybe there's some hard objects you missed, so you can just melt those in place if you want, or take them out. All right, good job, good job. So then all your auras are receiving zones, and so you can kind of strategically unblock your auras. So your auras don't have to be perfectly unblocked. I don't think that's even possible. But you can sort of strategically, intuitively find the blocks that are going to be in the way of you receiving positive change energy in any direction that you want, from behind, from in front, from above. So just imagine all your auras and use gold light and melt the blocks that are in the way of your auras being effective receiving zones for you. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings linked to these blocks? And the gold light that you're using, you know, with your intention, you melt away the cords from people going to these blocks first, and then you melt the blocks. And you can spin your copy around, you know, so first have it one way and then have it a different way, just so you're getting the sides and the back and the front. And your intention is healthy and gentle. You only want to clear what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? And then you're melting cords from people, and you melt the blocks. Spin your copy around, get some more blocks. Angels, can you... Is this, just your intention is healthy and gentle. So then angels, can you recycle the beings? And just lots of gold light, melt the people out and melt the blocks. And just use your intuition so you know when is good enough, so that you can, you know, receive nicely from all directions in your auras. But I think that's it. I think we got the good enough already. So okay, so then I did explain this already. So we're gonna do is creative rings up here, 1, 2, 3, 3 gold rings. We're gonna repair them and unblock them, and also melt inner surface devices. So if this is the ring, you know, one of the 3 rings, you know, you can have a device that sort of coats the inner surface of all 3 and kind of it might not block the whole flow, but it can prevent repair of, cracks that you have along the inner surface. So damage, it can prevent, repair of damage. And so therefore it really harms the effectiveness of like your strong boundaries in that area. So to the extent that's healthy and gentle, we're going to melt those devices. So the goal is not to melt every single one necessarily, just whatever's healthy and gentle to clear right now. Okay. So just imagine a copy of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you. And use gold light from your hands, melt cords from people. And use your intuition or your vision or your feel of your hands to sense the flaps of your creative rings. You want to see if they're open, which is an irritated state. So that's open flaps. That's what it looks like, a top-down view of open flaps. So you want to see if the flaps are open like that or if they're relaxed and shut. If they are relaxed and shut, it's nice and smooth. So just keep melting. You can pop out any hard objects that are sort of jamming the flaps open. And again, you have to pop out the hard objects. Don't be like, just angels, do it for me. I mean, only maybe a pure newbie, the angels would, kind of feel sorry for you and be like, all right, sure. But if somebody's been doing this for a while, it's highly likely that your angels will be like, seriously, you can't do that? So just, you could sticky gold wax the outer surface of your 3 gold creative rings and have it stick to any hard objects, and then just move out the wax and the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Have it stick to all the hard objects around your creative rings. Lift it out. Angels, here you go. Right? And so then you can do more repair and cord melting now that those hard objects are gone. So that was around the outer surface. So now we'll do the inner surface. Again, you can have sort of like a, I don't know, gasket or some kind of a thing that's pasted to the inner surface, a device. And so just you can run so much gold light through that it just melts in place. So just imagine the ones that are healthy and gentle to melt away right now, and use so much gold light. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And then just stay here and breathe, because it can cause you to come in more and then kind of knock out invasive energies just in sort of this automatic reaction. So you can just stay here and stay present and enjoy that. And you could also say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that were in my space just now that are no longer there? Just so they're not around to bother you or somebody else later. So again, the inner surface of the creative rings, just sense if there are any more devices in there that are healthy and gentle to melt away right now. And then just use so much gold light that you melt them. Take your time. Breathe. And then just, relax for a second. Stay here. Breathe. While, it's possible that that's going to get you more present. Well, likely it's going to get you more present, and it causes a little evacuation of invasive energies. So then you just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that were in my space? Can you recycle any lurkers? So then you can just do a little extra repair of those inner surfaces, because, without the devices in the way, now you can repair some inner surface cracks if you have any. All right, good job. So now we're going to repair and unblock all your chakras at the same time in a very standard way, and unblock in general and also for the theme. Unblock for general benefit and also to help with the theme of you being more liberated and less repressed and more informed about your life and your own wisdom and angel wisdom, all that good stuff. So for chakra repair, we're going to repair and unblock all of them at once, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, right? So all of them means your 7 astral, your 7 physical, but also all the minor chakras as well, every other chakra you have in your body and your spirit, which includes all the super cool acupuncture points that you have everywhere in your physical body. And this is the basic chakra shape, an open cylinder, equally open on both ends. So you can make an image similar to that and just say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras of my body and my spirit. And then as you're healing and repairing this, you're healing and repairing all your chakras, right? So you just have that intention, healthy and gentle. Use cold light. You can bring up red earth energy and soak all your chakras in red earth energy and cold light. Melt cords going into your chakras from other people. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any of my chakras, can you recycle them? And that will mean that your angels recycle as many as you can handle recycling right now, because it does get you to be more present, which then triggers some old baggage of yours, yada, yada, yada. So that's why you have to keep asking over and over, as you keep working. So just keep using gold light, melt cords from people. Imagine the energy blocks either around the round openings or wrapped around the chakra or stuffed inside the chakra, and melt them with gold light. And the baggage for unblocking, you can just lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to clear, and then just melt it away that way with gold light. Lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to clear from your chakras and surround it in so much gold light that it melts. Lift out the baggage, melt it away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this unblocking and repair, can you recycle them? And for the theme, liberate and inform yourself in your life, maybe there's baggage that is healthy and gentle to clear right now that would help with that theme. So we'll call that theme baggage. So lift out the theme baggage and just lots of gold light so you can melt it away. Lift out your theme baggage and use so much gold light that you melt it away. All right, good enough. And of course, you can always unblock a chakra one at a time. You don't always have to do on all of them at once. So if you feel a special tightness or discomfort in a certain area along your spine, then you could just unblock that major chakra that's right there. And if you need information on each of your major chakras, you can just email me and ask me for the 2-page chakra handout. And it's just an email attachment that lists your 7 major chakras and the ideal color for each and what each one helps you with and the basic location of each. So that's the chakra handout that I could email you for no charge, of course. And my email address is right there, janet@jwhealing.com. All right. So our back of head work has 2 sections to it. One is the base of skull points with this handy dandy diagram. So you get rid of that text. See all the meridians as clearly as possible. Actually. move it over. So from left to center there, those meridians are the gallbladder meridian, that's the green-blue one. And then the urinary bladder meridian, that's the yellow one in the diagram. And then the one going up the midline, which is an unfortunate sort of blackish gray in the diagram, is GV, governing vessel meridian. It's the names of the meridians that we're going to be working, specifically in the parts of it that you. So these are traditional Chinese medicine meridians. And I do have in the info section of this live stream, later the video, there's a playlist of 12, all your 12 regular meridians, of which gallbladder meridian and urinary bladder meridian are part of those 12. And you can see a video on each one of them. Just in case you want to geek out and do the whole meridian. So each of these meridians, you can imagine it like a tube, and ideally, and heal it with gold light. You can also heal it with red earth energy that you bring up from the core of the earth. And sometimes I like making the meridian really giant so that it's easier to see like detail. But you don't have to. You can keep it only a little bit bigger. Well, it's still a lot bigger than it is in real life. But anyway. Use cold light to unblock the meridian. And you want the meridian to be like a red flowy tube with a red flowy river inside of it. That is your body's life force and your life force. So just trace the meridian and see if it's red and flowy or if it's really black and crusty or white and wiry. Yeah, I just use gold light and red earth energy to repair and heal. And these auras, your auras go all around you, and they help to protect you. And so if you have too many energy blocks in your auras, or if they're actually ripped up, then that can harm the meridian, because then the auras aren't able to nurture and protect and nourish the meridian, right? So just comb through all your 17 auras as they go back here, and just check for significant energy blocks or rips. Yeah, just find a bunch of blocks and surround them in gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And then melt the people out of the blocks and melt the block. Again, you can even comb through the back of comb through your head and your neck and drag out blocks, and then comb through the auras too, and just gather together enough blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? And then keep using gold light to melt cords from people out of the blocks and melt the blocks. And you can make a special grounding for the back of your head and the back of your neck. Red grounding going all the way down to the core of the earth. And just imagine releasing your stresses that have bottled up in that area, down the grounding, down to the core of the earth. Again, comb through the back of your head, the back of your neck, drag out the blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. Comb through the area behind your head too, and just get a whole bunch of blocks. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording into these blocks? And just keep using so much gold light and melt people out of the blocks. And melt the block. So then of the other part of working the back of head stuff, which would be good karma windows. So good karma windows are a part of one of your auras back here, the astral body aura. And the astral body aura is very important. It protects and nurtures your astral body, which is the part of you as a spirit that can be fully present in your body if you're awesome enough, if you're unblocked enough and healthy enough. But anyway, so you have these windows back here. There's one in each layer of your astral body aura, and they're like receiving zones, basically, of good karma energy and positive change that you want to bring in. But if they're messed up or damaged, they can be like back doors for invasive energy to enter your space. So we want to repair each of these. And they look, when they're repaired, they look like triple frame windows like this. And they'll be different colors based on whatever your energy, what color your energy is in that aura layer. But you can just run gold light through them and with your intention repair any cracks or breaks in the windows so that they're flowing and it's just your energy. That's it. Nobody else. Nothing else. So melt blocks from other people. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? And you may have some invasive energy that's kind of threaded through the windows from before and anchored into maybe your base of skull points or some of your upper chakras. So you can, when you weed in a garden, you want to get the weed, like the stem and the leaves, but you really want to get the roots as well, right? So you can just imagine, like, say you in a profile and get the weed, but also get the roots, right? So freeze the weed, freeze the roots, and use gold light, drag it out. Angels, here you go. Freeze the weed, freeze the roots, and this would be, it's a metaphor for invasive energies, like invasive beings. So just freeze it and drag it out. Angels, here you go. Can you recycle these beings? And you may have like one invasive being that's just kind of like hanging on, or a couple that are like half in, half out, and it feels quite weird. So you can just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings, half in, half out of this area, can you recycle them? And sometimes you have like a really hard bunch of energy blocks, like right around where it feels weird. So because the invasive beings or the invasive people, they cord through those blocks to go deeper into your space. So just imagine your base of skull area and any really hard energy blocks that are behind your base of skull area, and just melt them away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings cording these blocks, can you recycle them? All right, good enough. Woo woo. All right, yay, we finished the 5 essentials. And I could plug actually now just that experience version 5 essentials video that I have. I'm gonna forget how long it is, but it's got a really good vibe. It's definitely under 20 minutes long, maybe 15 minutes long, maybe 12 minutes long, maybe 15. Yeah, probably 15. But it goes through the 5 essentials that we just did, but at a much faster clip for people that don't need the explaining. And it's got a very good vibe. Like I've done the 5 essentials along with the video, but then I just repeat sections because I end up freestyling a little and being like, ooh, that's interesting. I need to spend more time on that. Or, oh my gosh, that's still messed up. I need more time on that. So I'll just like, it has video chapters. So I'll just like repeat a video chapter a couple times until I'm done with that area. But it's a video that you might want to give a try if you if you don't feel like just purely freestyling without any, auditory assistance. I mean, obviously I know my 5 essentials, so I don't have to use it, but it's a good vibe. It helps keep you focused on like, okay, we're doing our 5 essentials. And like the first minute or two is just me like saying what we're going to do. So that's a chapter. So you can just skip to the chapter where we start. So it's nice. All right. And that is, if you just search Janet Wright Healing Experienced Version 5 Essentials, you'll find it. But it's also featured on my YouTube channel page in the shorter video playlist. All right. Okay, so now sometimes in between steps, I like to do this little wrap up to kind of clean the slate and help you feel good before we move on. So recycling lurkers, super easy. Just say, angels, can you recycle my lurkers? Which means, angels get rid of, recycle invasive beings anywhere near my auras. Clear STEBs. STEB stands for stubborn triggered energy blocks. So just make a big gold blanket out in front of you and pile onto it anything that's triggered right now for you. Any energy blocks triggered for any reason. Maybe from last week, last month, last year. Maybe it's always triggered. Maybe it's just triggered today. Anyway, just pile it all there. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting these blocks? Deep breath. So then now you can do the rest. Just lots of gold light. Melt everybody out of the piles. Melt yourself out. Once you get everybody out using gold light, then you can explode the blocks or just keep melting them with gold light until they're gone. Deep breath, breathe into your spine, breathe into your legs. All right, and that final step in the 3-step wrap up is the blue soak for your mind. So you can imagine your mind any way you please, like 2 gardens, one for your subconscious mind and one for your conscious mind that are next to each other and communicating with each other, or 2 flowers, 2 trees, a forest, a garden, 2 beaches, 1 beach, whatever you want, right? So you imagine your mind, and then you know where the center of the earth is, right? So you bring up blue earth energy from the center of the earth. So it's just earth energy at a blue vibration, and bring that up and soak your mind in the blue earth energy. And just let your mind absorb that earth energy. And while you're at it, you can run gold light through your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, and that flowy barrier between your conscious and your subconscious mind. Run gold light through that. one common way that people try to oppress other people is to give them like mental blocks, you know, like oppressive energy in their mind, either conscious or subconscious mind. So you can look for that, look for any oppressive energy from other people. Maybe it's from a past life, you know, like a political group in a past life, or a political group in this life, or, you know, maybe a really stern spouse that you had in this or a past life. Just, you know, melt away any oppressive energy that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, that is in either your conscious mind or your subconscious mind, or the divider between your conscious and subconscious mind. Melt away any oppressive energy that's healthy and gentle to clear right now. Couple deep breaths. All right, great job. So let's move on. Okay, so in this one, we could put our theme back up there, I guess. We can unblock a whole bunch of stuff at once, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, right? So have that intention. But you can imagine pretty much your everything, you know, creative rings, all your major chakras along your spine, as well as, so not all chakras, like including the meridians and whatever, just creative rings, and then the chakras along the spine, the joints along the spine, including the spinal joints and the sacroilliac joints, which are, you know, around your sacrum, right, at the base of your spine. And then all your other joints everywhere, you know, so major ones like shoulder, hip, knee, elbow, also wrists, ankles, feet and toe joints, all that good stuff, right? So just have fun with it. Relax. Lots of gold light. You can use red earth energy too if you want. So creative rings and your major chakras, astral and physical, plus all the joints along the spine, including sacroiliac joints, all the major joints, shoulder, elbows, wrists, fingers, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, feet, so creative rings, 7 chakras, spinal joints, sacroiliac joints, shoulders, hips, knees, and everything else. If you need to move around a little, please feel free to do that. Just be gentle with your body, of course. You can bring up red earth energy and do a red earth energy soak of all those things, except red is a little too low for your 7th. So maybe just your 7th and your creative ring. So maybe red, certainly for 1 through 3, that would be fine. Chakras 1 through 3 and all your spinal joints and all your other joints of your body, red would be fine. Red earth energy. And gold light. All the cool joints in your fingers, all the cool joints in your feet. So just be with that for a little, see how that feels for you. All right, good job, good job. All right. Okay, so we're going to clear blocks for 5 different things, but I'll group them first, just 2 topics together, and then the next 3 together. So now we're going to clear blocks to help you to love yourself more, and then also to love your life more. And, obviously we all have challenges. We all have, defects in ourselves or whatever, but being able to love and appreciate yourself and your life is pretty important for well-being, your immune system, your state of mind, all sorts of goodness. So, and it also can affect how people perceive you and how they treat you as well, and the treatment that you accept from others as well. So it's really good to do. So let's do it. So put a big gold blanket out in front of you and pile onto it any energy blocks that make you love yourself less. So put all those energy blocks out in front of you, any baggage, any dumped energy in your space from other people, whatever, anything in your space that causes you to love yourself less, and pile all that out there and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through it. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting these blocks? Deep breath while your angels recycle invasive beings. And then you can do the rest, just lots of gold light and melt away cords from people. Melt everybody's energy out of these blocks and your own energy out as well. And then with that same gold light, you can keep using it until the blocks fully melt away. Or you can blow up the blocks too. Deep breath. And then we'll do the second one there. We're going to clear blocks so that you can love your life more. And again, you can actually increase how much you love and appreciate your life without changing any external circumstances. So let's do it. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any baggage or any energy blocks in your space that cause you to love your life less, right? So pile all those blocks out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through it for you. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting these blocks? Deep breath. So then you do the rest, just so much gold light, melt everybody out, melt their cords out, melt everybody's energy out, melt your own energy out, and melt the blocks fully or blow them up. So take a deep breath, breathe in, be present in your legs, your hips, your feet, your fingers, your spine. Take some deep breaths. See how you feel about that. And of course, that's something that you can do more, and you can do it whenever you want. All right. Okay, so this is kind of a lot to fit on my little banner at once, but I think it could be especially interesting just to do it all together, like not just pick and choose. So let's do it. We're going to do 3 separate clearings, but like I said, I think if you don't skip one, if you do all 3, it could be extra interesting. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any energy blocks that are lowering your level of decisiveness and productivity. So pile all that up. There may be a lot of blocks. Speaking personally. So any energy blocks in the way of your decisiveness and your productivity, right? As many as you dare to put out there, because we're gonna have angels check, so it's fine. And then angels, can you check, make sure this is just what's healthy and gentle to clear right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting these blocks? Deep breath. So these are blocks in the way of your decisiveness and productivity, right? So just use so much gold light that you're melting everybody out, melting their cords out, melt their energy out, and let go of them yourself. And just keep melting them fully with gold light or blow them up. If there's any left over, just wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? Okay, so then the next one is for peace of mind, right? So make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any energy blocks in your space, whether it's your baggage, somebody else's baggage dumped in your space, whatever. Anything in the way of your peace of mind, just pile all of it out onto the gold blanket. Say, angels, can you check to see if this is healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this junk? Deep breath. And then you do the rest, lots of gold light, get everybody out of these blocks. Melt yourself out, melt everybody else out, melt their cords. And use so much gold light that you melt them fully or blow them up. And if you need to do a second batch, go for it. You know, big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any peace of mind baggage that you have, anything lowering your peace of mind. And angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting this junk? Lots of gold light. Melt everybody out. Melt their cords. Melt yourself out. And just keep using so much gold light that you melt it all or blow it up. All right. And the last one, do/be over there. It means your balance between just being, which could be like being at rest, but just being very present, but just existing and doing, taking action. So having a balance between those two can help you to have, enough rest in your life, enough reflection time, enough thoughtfulness, all sorts of goodness. So big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any blocks in the way of your do-be balance, right? So pile all that out in front of you and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this junk? Deep breath. And then you can do the rest. Lots of gold light. Melt everybody out of this baggage. This is your do-be baggage, right? Your balance between doing and being baggage. So get everybody out of it with gold light. And then you could blow it all up or keep melting it with gold light till it's all gone. And yes, you can do multiple batches of this. Just have your angels check for healthy and gentle. Because sometimes you can get stuck in one mode or the other. And you don't have, a balance of both. So it's good to do. All right, so take some deep breaths. See how that feels for you. How's your self-love? How's your peace of mind? All right, good job, good job. Woohoo. All right. Okay, so like I said before, this is a repeated exercise. We did it in the last 2 healings, in the second and the third healing of the triplet set this month. And it is back by popular demand. So I put garden in parentheses because you can imagine your mind however you want with a different metaphor, like a beach or forest or a single flower or whatever you want. So imagine your mind however you like, but definitely imagine some representation for your subconscious mind that is separate but connected to your conscious mind, right? So I tend to prefer 2 gardens connected by a gold flowy wall, one for your subconscious mind, one for your conscious mind. And so imagine helpful realizations that you could have that are, healthy and gentle to have right now. You're ready for them, right? It wouldn't be TMI. It wouldn't be too much information, right? So imagine those healthy realizations, helpful realizations in your subconscious mind, and imagine them as some color of your energy. And then imagine just separate from that, the energy blocks that you need to clear to help those realizations pop into your conscious mind. So imagine the energy blocks that you can clear that will help you become conscious of this stuff. And so it's a realization that you have. And melt those blocks. You can imagine the blocks and say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? And then you melt away the people and melt the blocks, right? And then you do it until you see those colored balls pop into your conscious mind instead of in your subconscious. And then once they're there, that's fine. You did it. And, you'll realize whatever it was, soon or when when it's time. Okay, so let's do that again. Imagine both your sections of your mind, right? And give them both a healing while you're at it. Gold light, gold light, gold light. And imagine a bunch of colored balls that represent a helpful realization that you could have, or several that you're ready for, that would be healthy and gentle. And then imagine, separate from that, the energy blocks that you need to clear in order to have that realization pop into your consciousness. And then just use gold light and melt those blocks. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? All right. So deep breath. Now for me, I can tell that that was enough, you know, but maybe if it's not enough for you, you could do another round or two of that, as long as you're using your intuition and it's healthy and gentle, the amount you're doing. And you can say too, you know, if you don't like have faith that you'll be able to do, you'll have the discipline to do this again later consciously, you can just say, angels, can you help me with this type of clearing later if I need it? Can you help me more to do this? Can you help me to do more of this if I need it? All right, good job, good job. Okay, so for the wrap up now, for the healing, we're going to do this final stuff. We'll do our 3-step wrap up that we did already. We'll do it again. We'll do grounding, of course, and then we'll do our 3-step wrap up again, and then we'll unblock aura receiving zones again, to help you, you know, like I said, surf the next few days or week, hopefully, you know, well. And, you know, of course, it is nice if you do meditate every day, or do energy healing on yourself every day, or other wellness activities, you know, to help you to surf the wave of your change more gracefully. But we want to kind of give you some help with that now by unblocking the receiving zones again in your auras. And then unblocking, we'll do extra unblocking for the legs and the feet as well. Okay. So first step, super easy, because your angels do it for you. When you ask, angels, can you recycle my lurkers? And then clear STEBs. STEBs is stubborn triggered energy blocks. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any energy blocks that are stubborn, they haven't cleared yet, even though you've done so much. Pile them all out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? Deep breath. And then go ahead and melt the blocks. Melt everybody out of the blocks, melt people's cords, and melt the blocks. All with gold light. We could do another batch of that. Big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it anything that's triggered for you still in any way on any level. So about politics, about the economy, about your job prospects, about your career, about your love life, about an old friend, whatever, everything that's triggered, just pile that out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are cording any of this? Deep breath. And then you do the rest. Gold light Melt everybody out of these piles. And melt the blocks or blow them up fully. All right, great. So we'll do a quick blue soak for your mind. So imagine your mind however you please. And then bring up blue earth energy straight from the core of the earth to soak your mind with blue earth energy. And gold light, and just wash everybody out of your mind. Doesn't mean you can't talk to people and communicate with them, but if they're in your mind, it's gonna make it hard to function. Which some people don't realize that, and they climb in there. So just don't ask people to leave, just wash them out. It's not a debate. Just lots of cold light, wash everybody out of your mind. And again, bring up blue earth energy so you can soothe your mind and nourish it with the blue earth energy. And you can leave that up too. You don't have to bring the blue earth energy back down. Alrighty. So then we did this during or after oral repair also, but it's aura unblocking that is strategic enough that you melt the blocks that are in the way in anywhere in your auras. They're in the way of you bringing in new positive change energy easily and sort of without feeling sleepy or cranky or, you know, tired or whatever. Right? So just melt all the blocks in your auras that would make you feel weird when you're trying to bring in new energy. Just melt those blocks. You say, angels, can you recycle any beings in the way of this unblocking? So especially above your head and above your shoulders, those are maybe the most common ways to bring in new energy, but also behind you and in front too, those are common as well. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And then melt the people out, melt the blocks. Angels, can you recycle the beings? Melt the people out, melt the blocks. Sometimes people have really tight blocks behind their neck and base of skull. So just surf around, find those super, if you have a condensed area of blocks behind your head, neck, and shoulders, and just use so much cold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Melt people out of the way, melt the blocks. Okay, good enough. So then all that's left is legs and feet. I have a fun foot graphic that I like to use lately, right there, whammo. So we'll move over, make room for the foot. So that big red dot right there is the foot chakra in the arch of your foot, where you bring up earth energy from the core of the earth up through your legs and into your first chakra, and then back out your first chakra, back on down. And the little dot right there above your foot chakra, that's kidney 1, the first chakra of your kidney meridian, which starts in the bottom of your foot and then goes up your leg and yada yada. So you can unblock those 2 chakras with gold light from your hands. And unblock your legs. You can use all sorts of different things like a gold bottle brush or gold sandstorm or just gold light. You can imagine the blocks in your legs that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and just freeze those blocks, move them out, and melt them outside of your legs if you want. Move out the blocks in your legs, melt them outside of your legs. Move the blocks away, and you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you recycle them? Just like you can have a hard wedge of energy blocks behind your shoulders, neck, and base of skull. Same thing in front of your first and second chakras, like right about here in your auras. So go ahead, comb through your tummy area and your pelvic bones and outward, and just gather up if you have a bunch of blocks there that are healthy and gentle to clear, and just use so much gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording these blocks? Melt people out, melt the blocks. Let's do that again. Comb through your tummy and your pelvic area and outward into your auras in front there, and gather up blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording this junk? Use so much gold light, melt everybody out, and melt the blocks. Or blow them up. Again, unblock your legs. Ideally, you should be bringing up a lot of earth energy through your legs at a red vibration and then into your first chakra. But sometimes people have a block somewhere along the way, and then it has to detour out of your physical legs to get to your first chakra. And maybe your first chakra is too blocked up, so then it just doesn't get there. So unblock in front of your first chakra. Unblock your thighs so that the energy, your earth energy, can flow through your thighs into your first chakra. You can also work on, while we're working legs, you can work like self-love of your legs. Like maybe your legs are not perfect. They're not like the airbrush fake legs that you see in advertisements. And that's okay. So just, because sometimes if you dislike a part of your body, it's actually blocked and you're not that present there. And that's part of why. And of course, also that you see all these airbrushed fake advertisements. But to sell you things. But anyway, so just think about, I love and appreciate my legs. I'm glad that my knees work. I'm glad that my legs work. Try to have your positive thoughts of your legs while you're working them. And you do have astral body legs, and so if your physical body legs are unblocked enough, then your astral body legs fit properly into all the joints and into your legs, which helps your command presence. And your ability to handle stress. All right. So as we wrap up, you can just ask your angels, angels, can you help me to wrap up this healing? And angels, can you help me to be more and more liberated in my life? And angels, can you help me to have better and better access to my own wisdom? And angels, can you help me hear my angels more and more? Deep breath. All right. Good job. That's the healing. You're a rock star. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so the healing is done. So I'm gonna take a restroom break. You can too. Get up, walk around a little, and then I'm gonna do a really quick little stretch or 2 or 3 with the camera turned back on. Not that you need to copy me, but stretching is healthy and good. And then we'll have a little post-healing chat if you're interested. And I'll read the chat comments. And so if you want, you can comment on how the healing was for you. And if you have any follow-up questions or comments about anything that I said in this live stream or the theme, feel free to post that. And to the extent that I have time, I will read your comment and answer it. Okie doke. So I'll get rid of the camera so you can enjoy the photo here, and I'll be back soon. Okay, he's back in his crate. So that's good. He's just sitting there. I'll call. Hi, I'm back. So I'm going to stretch for a moment and then we'll do our little chit chat. Daisy, be good. Yeah, he's licking. I tried. I can walk him into your room with you if you need me to. Izzy, come on. Come on. Sorry about that. Lorenzo has to watch our dog because he's not feeling well. All righty. Hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. All right. All right. So I'm looking for comments I haven't read yet. And feel free to comment, say hi, where you're viewing from if you want, how the healing was for you, or if you have a follow-up question about something I said, or the theme, or energy healing in general. Someone says, hey, Janet, from hot Las Vegas, 111 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. That's even hotter than Bangkok, where I will be living in a year and 2 months, maybe a year and a few months. Let's see how hot it is in Bangkok, just for kicks. According to my phone, in Bangkok, it is 87 degrees. That's kind of moderate. Especially if everyone has air conditioning, which they do there in Bangkok. Here in Olympia, it's 73 degrees. So pretty nice today. So 111. Ugh, that's a bit much. I bet you have AC, I hope. So 111 for those more sensible countries on centigrade, that is like 44 degrees, looks like. Ish. Yeah. Well, stay cool. You're saying, hope you've been doing good. It feels like it's been forever. Yeah. This time in between healings, I think it was like 2 full weeks, something like that. So yeah, it does vary. How when the first set often starts on the first Thursday of the month, but not always. And then but the twin set is more floats now. I just sort of intuit which would be best, because I got to give myself a break in between that one, and then I got to have prep time for the next one. So, and I just sort of use my intuition and ask the angels. But yep, a little test for your self-healing to have such a big break in between healing sets. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Janet. You're welcome. Had to head out a little early. I'm still working hard on my new job/move, and recently my coworker, you give that person's initials, thank you, said a project management position was opening up on her team, and she was encouraging me to apply. I feel very conflicted and am not getting a good read on it. Other than it doesn't seem right for me. Been doing the colored ball technique for help as well. Am I reading that right? Well, your angels keep using that term stepping stone, not like stepping stone blocks, like we've said in the past, but it's just like resume candy. Is it better for you to have that job? Because how resumes, they're all about like your current job title and blah, blah, blah. And people just look at things like really quickly, when they read a resume, they're not going to like spend 20 minutes sort of analyzing this, all the text that you have on your resume. So, I mean, it looks like you're kind of bored to tears with your current position. I think what you're getting caught up in is that you don't want to stay at this job forever, your current position or the new position. But I don't think karmically your angels are saying that you're really, your angels like it if you stay there for like a month at least, But if you leave soon after you get into a position, your angels would be fine with it. Because they say that overall you've really, been very ethical about, earning your pay there, and working well. And if you did the same thing in the new position, even if it was, only 4 or 5 weeks before you actually left the job, at least, then your angels are fine with that. So it's just a question of, you can imagine with your current job and job title, will that be more of a springboard for you, or will the next position, the project managing thing be a better springboard for you to your move and your job in a different city? And sort of imagine it in that context and see which feels like a better sort of springboard or stepping stone. So if that makes sense. But yeah, it's not, it wouldn't you don't have to accept it as in like, okay, now I'm committing the next 5 years of my life to this company all over again. You can just say like 4 or 5 weeks minimum would be fine. You know, if you didn't goof off in those 4 or 5 weeks, then that would be ethical enough that it wouldn't be bad karma or anything. Because it's like you've been trying to get a job for quite a while, you know, in a different city. So yeah, anyway. So maybe that will help you with context of whether or not, you know, it's right for you. Just read it within that context of what's a better springboard, staying at this current position or doing that position. All right. So it says, thank you, Janet. I received this beautiful healing just like your puppy did. On my back on the floor with my legs in the air. Oh, that's funny. Well, hopefully you feel better than my puppy does because he's in there with my husband now. But he has a lot of mental and health issues, so it's a thing. It's a recurring thing with my puppy. So that's funny. I hope you enjoyed the healing. Sounds like you did. I'm glad. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I love Unblock Creative Rings, 7 chakras and all joints. Oh, the section that we did. Yeah. Which will be its own timestamped section. So we did 5 essentials, then we did a 3-step wrap up, and then we did the Unblock All at Once Creative Rings and all major chakras and all joints at the same time. I have been doing it daily for left shoulder. I push myself to read auras and the joint and then heal along in addition with massage, chiropractic care, and acupuncture. And then I'm just jumping down so I can get the rest of that comment. That person saying, I've seen changes, but it seems like the joint is locked and goes back to the position of forward bended. Is there anything I'm missing? Well, I'm curious what your chiropractor says, because I know one time that I had well, actually twice. I've had a shoulder joint. I forget which one it was, to be honest. That was subluxated, which means partially dislocated. But the first time it happened, it was like that for 6 months. And I didn't know. It just felt weird. And I kept trying to fix it with energy healing and stuff. And then the chiropractor told me that, and he basically popped it back in place. And then, you know, it was sore for a couple days after that, but then it healed much faster after that. So I'm just curious if you've explored that with, I would assume that your chiropractor has already checked for that. You know, is it actually in place? You know, the shoulder, like the, whatever this arm bone is called, is it properly in there and seated well? And what does your chiropractor say about it? Does your chiropractor say it's just a muscular issue and everything's in the right place? Or did you tear something, you know, physically? What's the physical diagnosis would be my curiosity. Because I tried fixing my subluxated shoulder for 6 months and it didn't work. It didn't pop it back into place. When I had physically dislocated it or partially dislocated it. So yeah, and also another thing your angels are mentioning is strength. Like there's flexibility and there's strength, and sometimes if you have certain muscles that are not strong enough, then you it puts too much. I mean, I'm not a physical therapist, so I'm going to describe it probably slightly wrong, but it like can put too much pressure on other muscles and other tendons and make it more likely that you injure yourself. Whereas if you build up your strength of all sorts of muscles, then it's like things are easier and you're less prone to injury. So that could be something that you look into, is like what level of strength do you need? Do you lack your and I'm a good example of lacking strength up here, which you can see pretty well in this shirt, I guess. But I used to be worse, believe it or not. But you know, do you need to work your shoulder strength? Do you need to work your upper arm strength? You know, what strength training do you need to do as well? And I guess I've never seen a good physical therapist, but I've heard that, you know, a good physical therapist can point out, you know, muscular weaknesses and give you ways to work on them. I know personally, like I work much more on my core strength than I've never worked on it before in my life, pretty much. But now I do. And I also work like a muscle exercise for my SCM muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscle, that goes from here in the side of the skull to the clavicle bone. And I do this like, you know, thing, and it's supposed to like help and do it very gently. And you know, if you have an issue there, maybe, you know, go see a practitioner first to make sure that's safe for you. But it's supposed to not only work flexibility but also strength. And since I've been working core strength and glute strength, and then I don't have the same chronic problems that I used to have with my neck and shoulder and lower back. So yeah, so maybe a second opinion on the chiropractic to get a better handle on the physical, or just a physical therapist to help you with muscle strengthening, targeted, you know, like to assess and see, or yeah. And obviously knowing your limits. I think now you've learned that you can't brute force things, and that your body might not have the level of strength that it did, you know, decades ago. And so it's like you got to learn to be more careful with physical strenuous activity. But anyway, so as far as meditation, I don't think it's a meditation issue. I think whatever you're doing is fine with the energy stuff. I think it's a physical issue. Either the joint is out of place and it didn't get diagnosed properly by your chiropractor, or, you know, you need a physical therapist and work on strength, like gentle, targeted, careful stretching and strengthening, or both. So yeah, it does seem to be more of a physical issue at this point. Like, you know, like an issue with diagnosis and an issue with, you know, strength training and targeted stuff. Yeah, I don't think acupuncture is so necessary with it. I think with your energy healing, you're already doing well with that. But yeah, okay, so I've babbled on enough about that. I don't know if it helps, but I hope it does. All right, enough on that. So someone says, thank you, Janet. I love this theme. I started a new job about 2 months ago. Oh, that's interesting. And I've been surfing the changes and trying to read into it more. It seems like a good opportunity and the angels like it. Don't let him drink too much. Yeah, I agree. I see your angels are giving me lots of thumbs up for your new job. So congratulations, I guess. Yeah, and it seems like your read on it is accurate. So yeah, congratulations. Woohoo! New job, confetti. Yay! Yay, good for you. Congratulations. Someone says thank you. I'm assuming for the healing, and you're welcome. Someone says, what did you mentioned your mother's initials like in the healing, because she also got the healing. I had a visit with her today. And then you have another question about your brother. So your mom, her favorite part, let me see. Her favorite part and her angel's favorite part is the part where we cleared blocks for 5 different things. So you can love yourself and your life more, so you can be more productive and more decisive and have more peace of mind and have a better balance between doing and being. That was her favorite part. I like that part too. The balance part is interesting. You know, between just like being and taking action. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I'll get to the other part of your question later, and I'm just going to read things in order here, since that other part was a different topic. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing. I like the grounding work a lot today. Oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks for the feedback. Glad you like the healing. Someone says, thank you for the healing. I am feeling good, but notice my husband keeps walking into my space. Yes, that's not new though. Unsure what he's pissy about, but I will do the melt room exercise. I mean, I think it would be easier to determine when he hasn't walked into your space a lot. Was there a time period? I think the only time in general that he doesn't walk into your space a lot is when he's out boating with other people and not you. And then he seems to be much more grounded and centered and just like in the moment. But it seems like when he's, you know, home or when he's at work or just around town, he kind of just, it's like, I think part of it is like a guy thing. Like he feels like he should keep you safe because he's your husband. And so his way of checking on if you're safe is to be in your space. So, you know, you could try making message flowers, you know, like healing flowers that are set at a vibration that might help him to be centered, you know, out of universal healing energy. And then putting a message in it like, I'm safe and, you know, I'll see you later. And, you know, give it to the angels, ask them to edit it in a way that, you know, he might see as okay. And then, you know, give it to him only if it helps the situation. You know, stuff like that, you know, maybe put in there, I'm safe. You know, hope you're having a good day. So it kind of reminds him of what he's doing at the moment. You know, hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing right now. You know, so it kind of reminds him, oh yeah, I need to focus on this or whatever. But you know, adding in the I'm safe might sort of calm down that whole, you know, male protector overdrive thing that he does. So hope that makes sense and hope it helps. But yeah, I don't think he's pissy right now. I mean, relative to his normal state. I don't think he's especially pissy right now. Someone says, thank you, Janet. My spouse, and you mentioned his initials, thank you, is with your kids, and you mentioned their initials, out of town because I am sick. Something awful happened today to all of them, and I am beside myself and can't help but blame my spouse. My mom thinks we have a hex on us. Maybe I am starting to believe her old Italian superstitions. Who thinks your mom? Well, I mean, we've all had lots of past lives, right? And we've all pissed off lots of people, you know, sometimes because we did something that we shouldn't have, and sometimes just because those people have mental problems. So, and I do think, you know, curses are real in a way. They're not as all-powerful as people imagine, but I do think it is possible to mess with people's energy in a way that might be lasting if they don't undo it, you know? So I don't think it's totally nuts for her to think that, but, you know, so if you have concerns like that, I don't think it's a terrible thing as long as you don't turn it into a paranoia. You can just say, you know, angels, can you please clear out any, you know, pieces of energy that I have or my family members have that is causing us to, you know, be less safe or less well or less happy, you know. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. You could do that. You could do that every day. You know, angels help us to have a clean out, you know, in case there's any, you know, dark energy from other people trying to harm us. Yeah, that's fine. So you don't, you know, get all paranoid and fearful over it. But you know, yeah, you can ask for cleanouts like that whenever you want. We used to have a neighbor who, this must be some like old thing that I wasn't aware of, but she had a bag of water with pennies in it that was hanging above her doorway. And I think we moved into a rental years ago when we came to Washington State, that there was a bag of pennies with water in it somewhere, like in the front yard or the backyard or by the door or something. Which I think is like some sort of a thing like that, but I don't think little things like that really do it unless you had that intention, you know, of like, okay, angels, clean out any yuckiness from me, you know, that other people may have done to me, you know, as you're hanging the thing. But I don't think hanging the thing is really necessary, you know. Plus, you know, if your neighbors, it kind of looks weird, you know. But, you know, just that intention or that request to the angels, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know. It is true that, you know, even if it's not from other people, that things can snowball. So, for example, if you focus on what frustrates you in life, you tend to get more and more of it, you know. And I know your husband does have some issues with that type of thing, as if I'm recalling properly, that, you know, some issues with frustration and not managing his emotions well. So that kind of thing can snowball and you can attract more negative energy to you because of that. So that wouldn't really be something that people are doing to him. That's just sort of the way things work. If you don't, you know, clear your energy and actively work on strengthening and balancing your mind and your emotions, then you can become a sort of a shit magnet, so to speak. So, is your husband a shit magnet? Yeah, I would say he is a little bit of a shit magnet. So you can maybe suggest to your husband, just subconsciously on a spirit level, not probably out loud. I don't think that might go so well. But you can suggest to him that he have the angels, you know, give him clean outs in his sleep so that he can become less of a shit magnet. I don't think it's that your kids are shit magnets. They're too young to really be one way or the other. Are you a shit magnet? Sometimes, not as much as your husband though, but sometimes, like the sadness and the heart chakra pain that you have can attract heavier energies to you. But I don't think that's why you have the health issues you have. I think you just have those. But then I think sometimes your mood can kind of snowball a little bit because that's how it works. It's like a ship that's headed in a certain direction and it just sort of accumulates more to head in that same direction. You know, like an inertia kind of a thing. So yeah, it's something that you could work with your angels on, you know, like angels help me to shift my mood, help me to get stronger and stronger with my ability to shift my mood into a positive direction. And then, you know, your husband could take classes on the astral in his sleep with the angels about that. But sort of one hex or something, I don't really see that. I tend to see more like in a very complicated way, like that, you know, I probably have about 30 different pieces of energy that I could clear from different past lives that I haven't gotten around to clearing yet, that are, you know, not in my best interest to keep, you know. So I think everybody has a lot of stuff they can clean out along those lines. So hope that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think it's just a superstition as in like there's nothing to it. I think people can attract more negativity to themselves just because that's how energy works. You know, if you already have too much fear or too much, you know, frustration, or you have some imbalance in a certain way, or, you know, yes, people can be manipulative in a negative way as well. So it's true. But, you know, the good news is, you know, everything you do can help you. You know, your thought, your deep breath, your asking the angels for help, every little thing, you know, every healthy, you know, piece of protein you eat, you know, when you hydrate properly, you stretch, you try to get enough sleep, you know, all those things, they add up together. So hope that helps. I mean, generally when people, I don't know if he had a traffic accident or something, but with traffic accidents, I mean, some are just meant to be, and then some were unnecessary. You know, like how when we unblock the spiritual path, you know, I say that you can melt away the stuff that's unnecessary, you know, the unnecessary hardships and drama, you can melt those away. You know, but there's some learning that, you know, through challenges that is necessary, right? So you can, you know, I guess you could read, you know, whether whatever happened to him, was it halfway necessary or was it completely unnecessary and just him being a shit magnet, you know, and you can sort of contemplate that and look at that. Anyway, hope that helps. So then the other person who asked before about their mom asked about their brother now, who I did not heal in this healing. As far as I know, let me remind myself. Yeah, no, I didn't heal him this time. Anyway, you mentioned his initials. You say he deals with a lot of anger and corruption when volunteering on a condo board. Are these healings helping him learn grounding? Which healing techniques make volunteering easier? Yeah, so he didn't get this set, but he has gotten a few in the last couple months. I think if I had to just big picture snapshot the effect that those healings have had on him is that his energy seems like you can see his color more, and it's like he let go of some stuff from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago. So it's like he's not yet, I mean, there's a point at which you get clear enough that you can really, bring forward a lot of positive change, and he's not quite there yet. He's more just sort of digging out from not clearing enough in the past still. But he's also not getting more blocked up all the time, because he's more likely to just clear something rather than stew on it and repress it till tomorrow. Now it's sort of like 50-50 whether he's going to repress it and stew on it later or clear it. Whereas before you started getting him these healings, like maybe if I look back 6 months ago, it'd be like 80% he was going to repress it and stew on it later, and then 20% he was going to clear it. So now he's more likely to, just be like, okay, forget it, and then, but still, that expression, like old habits die hard, it takes time to turn the ship around and really transform how he thinks about himself and how present he is and how sort of self-assertive he is on a spirit level. So is he more grounded around the condo board stuff than he was before? He is, but he's kind of right in the middle of what he needs to learn with all of it. There's like 10 check boxes and he's learned maybe 5 of them. So it's a process. It's not like, I think you have a different perception of how he needs to act with them than it looks like his angels do. It's like his angels are like, well, just, this is kind of a weak area for him in general. And so it just forces him to learn this stuff, but it's not like it's easy stuff for him to learn. Like to be focused and assertive and know what battles to get into and what battles to avoid. It's not his real strong suit. So, but it's, he's learning. They're reasonably happy with how he's doing with it. It's just a more challenging lesson for him. But the angels are like, let him grow at his pace. Try not to referee it too much. He's a big boy. Just, you can ask the angels to give him healings. You could purchase healing sets for him sometimes, but just, you have things. Don't get so distracted by his things that you're not sort of focused on your stuff. Because sometimes you can get distracted with your concern for people that you love. There's to a point where it's not an unhealthy distraction, and then there's a point where it could be an unhealthy distraction. So, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. Feeling good. This is the first week I've had more free time, and I've had a lot of fear blocks come up, cleared STEBs, and victimy blocks. My colleague, and you mentioned his initials, is retiring and wants to send me his clients. So seems like abundance river is still flowing strongly. Just a big transition to change my schedule after 14 years. Am I reading that right? Well, yes, that is a big abundance manifestation that someone would want to refer a whole bunch of clients to you at one time. But your angels are just like sort of putting a spotlight on whether you receive cleanly and is he giving cleanly. And of course his intention is to give cleanly. But there's all sorts of subconscious levels that, nobody's perfect, and there's subconscious levels. And so they're like, you can work with those clients, but work with them on your terms. Don't take on his sort of unfinished business energy with those clients. Like, because there's about 5 of them that he wishes he could have gotten further with them. And he kind of has this, like, it's like a manila folder on them. On each one of them, there's one folder. And just like clean out the folder with gold light and red earth energy and let the angels clean it out too before you accept it. And it could be that that's an electronic file. There's no physical paper, or it could be just it's pure energy stuff, but just any information that he might give you about the clients, just make sure you run it through have the angels like sort of dishwasher it first before you accept it, because they don't want you to accept any of his tasks that he had wanted to do and accomplish. They're like, just, I mean, if he has information about their histories and stuff, that's fine. But yeah, just don't take on his unfinished tasks. So I hope that makes sense. And just, have your angels help you with that. So you can, but they're like, if you approach them like they're brand new clients, then that will help you, because you do have a lot of sort of boundary practice with new clients. So hope that makes sense. But yeah, of course, yeah, that is a significant manifestation of abundance. So congratulations. Woohoo! Yay. Woohoo. Alrighty. As far as clearing fear blocks, there was a nice thing that we did in the last healing, the 3 of 3, I believe it was. We did when we cleared fear, we did it as a junkyard. So rather than just gold blanket and make piles of your fear blocks out in front of you and clear them, we imagined all the fear blocks as if it's like a fear junkyard. And I think sometimes that can give you permission to or encouragement to put more out there. Like, okay, like not keep it so pretty and neat and, whatever, and just like sort of barf out all the baggage that you have relating to fear. And then, you have your angels double check, make sure it's healthy and gentle, and then maybe it gets reduced a lot. But, you start from this whole, blah, this is all the fear. And then, your angels, help you to make a much smaller one that's healthy and gentle. But if you approach it that way, you might end up clearing more things that, you would have otherwise maybe kept repressing. If you imagine the fear junkyard. So maybe that helps, hopefully. That person says, thank you also for reinforcing that my strong boundaries with my new clients is a good thing. Yeah. 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 From your psychology training, but a lot of times people test you, even nice people. They'll just test you, and it's subconscious. A lot of times they have no idea they're doing it, but they're just testing boundaries, like little kids do, but adults still do it. So they'll just test boundaries to see, what's okay, what's not okay, and maybe it's part of their learning to be told no, and all sorts of different reasons. So it's really common. So, you know, it's part of their learning to test your boundaries, and part of your learning to still have boundaries. But anyway, okay, cool. Well, that looks like a good stopping point for the live stream. So I will just put up my website and email address if I can find it. There we go. Oh, and then I do have 2 promotions. Yipes. I have 2 promotions. There's a new subscription promo and there's a newbie promo. So the newbie promo is like for pure newbies. So if you know somebody who, or you yourself, maybe you just watch, but you never have purchased a healing set from me, a group healing set, then I consider you a pure newbie. Not pure as in better, but just as in like really, really, really newbie. And so if you were to get a healing for yourself, if you're healing set for yourself, if you're a pure newbie, or, you know, say your sister's never gotten a healing set, if you purchase one for her, then you get a free set. That's the promo. You know, buy a set for a pure newbie, you get a set for free that you could use on yourself or on your sister or, you know, somebody else. So as long as you purchase and pay for that first healing set for the pure newbie, you get a free set. So it's a nice way to maybe double the healings that you receive for the money you're paying, which is cool. And then the new subscription promo is if you buy a new subscription for yourself or, you know, a loved one, then you get 2 free sets if it's a full subscription. So say you want to get a shared full subscription where you get the twin sets every month and your dad gets the triplet sets every month. In buying that full subscription, then you get 2 free sets, which you could use, one for you and one for your dad, or use it for your, you know, best friend who's a hot mess, whatever you want. And there is a gap between when you start paying and when the healing sets start for your subscription. So those free sets can help to fill in that gap a little bit. Because everyone for subscriptions, they purchase 2 months ahead. But I can explain all that in email if you email me. And my email address is, once again, oops, nope. Oh, there it is. My email address on my website. And you're welcome to purchase a set of healings if you want. And August and September sets are for sale on my website right now. And I don't remember the themes. I know September is abundance and productivity. I think both of them together, which should be a really kind of blockbuster combo. I thought it should be one or the other, but the angels are like, they gave me an eye roll at that. They're like, we said both. Are you listening? So September is going to be a real blockbuster month. We're working abundance and productivity in each set. August, next month, think, focus, and communicate more effectively. I really like that one too. Think, focus, think, communicate, and focus more effectively. I wrote it differently twice, 2 different times. But anyway, yeah, so that's all super useful. Because partially because communication is, a lot of it is subconscious. So it's not just your word choices and your tone. There's like a lot of like what you're showing them as a spirit as you're saying whatever you're saying, and whatever's triggered or whatever is visible in your energy as you're talking. So there's a lot to communication, and a lot to perceiving other people's communication, you know, subconscious factors of yours, and then you're reading subconsciously what they're showing along with the word. So it's there's a lot to it. So and of course thinking and focusing is pretty priceless. So that should be a big month too. So lots of good things happening. All right, you guys are amazing. So I guess that's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am grateful to be able to work with you guys. And let's wave goodbye. Bye. See you next month. You're amazing. Oh, and I'll send that survey about the news emails so you can tell me what you want. Bye. Oh, actually, not see you next month. There's one more healing. See, I feel like so much closure after that healing because we healed the mind so much. But there is one more healing. This is just the first healing in the set of 2. So there's another healing in 3 days. But then it's the last one in the month. So this was the penultimate healing for July. I love that word. All right, so then see you in 3 days on Sunday. If you tune in then for the live stream. Okay, bye.